Right, Joe, you ready to catch my camera?
Yeah.
Come on, just going to manipulate you a little bit. I loved your presentation just then. Just tell everyone what it was about, please.
So my PhD was about subsoil compaction. So I was looking at how to quantify and alleviate subsoil compaction, so how to measure and understand whether roots can have a benefit on that, and how farmers can sort of measure that in a meaningful way and understand what they should do about it.
What's your background?
So I was an agronomist, and then I've trained as a soil scientist. So I've sort of brought those together now at NIAB, where I work as a research agronomist, doing sort of research work and getting out on farm.
So you could have stayed within the agronomy field. You could have stayed within the agronomy field, but you went into NIAB, which is a really positive move. But why? Why did you not stay in agronomy?
I suppose my massive, my motivating factor is why, and interesting questions,
yeah.
And agronomy is fantastic. You develop fantastic relationships with people, but generally things sort of change slowly.
Yeah.
And I always looked at the researchers and I thought, actually, those are the really interesting questions. I want to be involved in that, so that's why I left and went to do my PhD, because I saw that was the way I needed to go.
Okay, so I'm going to date myself now. I can't even remember. 28 years ago, I was at Harper, and one of the biggest subjects there was compaction. Move forward today, your presentation, as I said, was glittering, but the problem is still there, in my views. I'm no scientist. So when you're my age, will the problem have been fixed? Will you have fixed the problem?
I'd love to think so. I'd love to think my generation would, but I don't think so. I think compaction is always going to be there, because we're always asking something of the soil when we're trying to grow food in it. And depending on what kind of food, potatoes here compared to extensive grass in mid-Wales, completely different asks of soil. So we're always going to damage soil, but it's about understanding how we can work with that over long periods of time and have a net overall, not a negative impact on soil, or hopefully a net overall gain in soil health over that time.
Okay, and
both of those are possible.
So Joe, what I've said with my recruitment hat on, when I've been recruiting for farm managers and chairing shortlist interviews, the farm managers are all wanting to move away from big, heavy equipment. They want to go down to small kit, and you look at where robotics is going in this talk, and little robots everywhere. So could we be even more positive that the soil health on a compaction basis will get better because of this technology that's coming in?
Definitely. So from my selfish point of view with subsoil compaction, big machinery to small is fantastic, because axle load drives subsoil compaction, so it doesn't really matter what kind of tyres you got on it. If it weighs a lot, it's going to compact the subsoil. But I spoke to Kit Franklin the other day, and I hosted a talk with him, and his vision of machinery and how that automation is going to happen with robots, in my head it's miles away, but for him it's in the next 10 years, and how that system actually really works on farm. He's been looking at the economics, so I can see a massive transition.
So we could actually see a stepstone change in the next 5-10 years?
I think so, yeah. I mean, from what he's shown us, yeah, it's no longer that kind of Star Trek, slidey doors stuff. It was proper hard economics of how you could compare that to a conventional tractor system set up on farms. So.
Yeah, and just explain that graph. You did it so well with your fingers, that when you have potatoes coming in every 7 years, what happens to the soil?
Goes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're bumbling along with your soil health. You have a disruption event, growing potatoes, and then all those intervening seasons, the resilience of soil is how long it takes to get back to where we're starting, and hopefully by doing good stuff in the middle, we can then sort of get back to a higher point than where we left it.
Excellent. And that's why we need people like you in the sector to educate all the people that are now left to go to the dinner. Right, Joe, just hold on to this whilst I turn it off.
Oh! I should have been holding on to you.